All right, folks, let's dive into this one because Disney is dying to find out what it is they can do. I'm sure the attorneys are well, they have their legal senses tingling as we speak. You may have heard about this, so have many people. 86,000 views on this. Star Wars Beggar's Canyon, a Luke Skywalker fan film. Well, it's between the Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars Lost Legends. And Jonas, MJ, this one is made completely with AI. And not only is it made completely with AI, which is going to turn off some people to this, but not only is it made with AI, it's better than anything Lucasfilm has ever put out since Kathleen Kennedy took over. We're going to watch some of it in just a minute. And I do so with a bit of trepidation. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know the rules for this, right? Because this was not made with Sora. They have the rights to do this. This was made with something else. And this something else is wonderful in terms of making it look just like Star Wars. Before we watch it, Jonas, do you have any insight as to how this is going to go now that this is going on? Lucasfilm is now being bested. We predicted this for the last 2 years. People said, no, this is nowhere near. It's not going to come true. I mean, maybe in the 2030s, but you guys are way off. It's here.
Right.
It's here.
Right. So this was always going to be the problem with AI. It wasn't who has the rights to things. It was, the question was, when you get someone if the quality threshold of AI reaches above the quality threshold of Lucasfilm, which I'm just going to be honest, the quality threshold at Lucasfilm, as far as actual Star Wars that people are interested in goes, is lower and lower and lower every single year. So all it was going to take was somebody coming in and saying, I have a better Star Wars idea that can do fan service better, or has better writing, or actually has something to do with Star Wars. I'm talking about Andor there, which is of no interest to Star Wars fans, generally speaking. They have set themselves up to where if someone comes in and is able to generate anything that evokes the original Star Wars feelings, then they win, as opposed to Lucasfilm losing.
MJ, as we get ready, and that's kind of a grotesque shot, we'll skip ahead. MJ, as we get ready to watch this, and I really don't know the rules. I mean, I genuinely, this is not monetized so far as I can tell. I don't know. I mean, we're playing somebody else's thing they've made. We're going to play it. I need people to see what it is to understand it. But MJ, this is also going to put pressure, I think, on Disney in terms of the parks. If people are allowed to do this in mass, and that will come very rapidly. And I do think there's going to be pushback from Disney. I hope not on us, because we're just trying to cover this. But MJ, if this happens, people are going to be saying, hey, that's the real Star Wars, not what Disney is making. Why isn't that in the theme parks?
Right.
So we'll be paying close attention to that, folks. Let's dive in to this video movie. Jonas, do we have clearance to play this? Are we going to be okay, you think?
I don't know. Here's the problem. If it's fully AI generated, then no one can copyright claim it. If they use the Star Wars music, then we're in a tight spot.
No Star Wars music involved. All right,
great.
We're going to dive in, folks. We're going to see what happens. And Jonas, have you seen this yet?
No, I have not. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in to the Star Wars movie. We'll commentate on it as we play. Fair use. Here we go.
Yes. They've already violated some Star Wars rules that Lucasfilm was already violating. That's okay. There's paper.
It's not real paper, Jonas. It's force paper.
It was a place where the most powerful kyber crystals were protected. Kyber crystals are what power lightsabers, and they aren't easy to come by. This is a map right to one.
Why is there a kyber crystal on Tatooine? But that's fine. If it's an excuse for this to happen, that's fine.
It was Jabba's ring pop, Jonas. Jabba's ring pop.
I promise.
Wow.
Now, folks, we're not going to watch all of this, but we want you to see what AI is going to do in 2026, and this is it. Here it is.
I mean, you can mute it and we can talk over it because it's, I mean, this is the kind of thing.
You don't like the music?
The music's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
Look, you made me stop on the dead bird again. Yeah. Jonas, don't do that to me.
With artificial intelligence, the music that they said, give me something that sounds like Star Wars. So and Lauren Connor says paper does exist in Star Wars. It's not all film splat, whatever.
Should we get Lauren in here to tell us about this? I think it's only apropos. Lauren, I'm gonna send you the link. Lauren, you hop in here and explain this to us, okay?
That is Mark Hamill to a T. At the time that we would want him to be Luke Skywalker. This is the person. This is the character that kids in the late 70s and 80s played as when they wanted to go rescue the princess.
Okay.
Man, this is what fans want, but this is not what Disney wants to do.
Okay, so there's the problem, right? What's Disney going to do when there's 1,000 of these, Jonas?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And also he needs better trigger discipline, but whatever. Yes. And so the market will be flooded with this. Disney is trying to work out some deal with Sora to say, oh, well, whatever you make with our characters, we can put on our streaming service.
Right.
So if this was Sora, they can put it on their streaming service.
So there's no way this was made with Sora, Jonas. So the question becomes, all right, and they've made up these creatures that exist in this world. There's Luke climbing the rock.
It's not very
He's got to climb up.
Yeah.
He's got to climb up to get to the Kyber crystal. We'll play this in just a second. But Jonas, here's the problem, right? If Sora has the exclusive rights to make Star Wars characters in AI, what's Disney going to do? And by the way, does Mark Hamill have any accusation against channels like this? We hope not. But does he have an accusation that they can't use his likeness or his voice, and therefore they can, can come after them? Yeah, I don't know. It's not monetized.
They didn't use his voice because listening to that. If they used his voice, they also used somebody else's voice because that's not Mark Hamill's voice in the 1970s, early 80s. But it's definitely his likeness. Wow. Somebody might just go through and say, all right, here's chapter 1 of Splinter of the Mind's Eye. Here's chapter 2. Let's just do this whole thing. Literal visualizations of the Legends canon at this point would probably do better. I mean, if Disney just went 1-to-1, page by page, through the Timothy Zahn novels at this point, Thrawn will be in better shape. No insult to the actor there. He didn't have time because Disney isn't paying for people to do these Disney Plus series in a way that actually takes that kind of dedication. This is every Star Wars fan's dream. They can just have whatever they want. And there are so many Legends novels that can just be stuck into AI, and they say, put this on screen, make it follow it accurately, and then you just go from there. And if you want to modify it to say, well, we'll make Mara Jade a little less of this kind of character. Oh, well, that weird scene over there with this guy that's supposed to be an Obi-Wan Kenobi clone. By the way, we'll clean out a little bit of the stuff that's a little spicier in the novels than we would want in a kid's movie. They can just do that. This is the holodeck without the holodeck.
Well, let me say this, though, Jonas. I want to do slight pushback, and then we're going to bring in our expert for all things Star Wars to talk about this. The people behind this are exceedingly creative. It is not yet easy to do this with AI by any means. You've got channels like Star Wars Theory championing this and celebrating them in the comments. You have Echo Base Network congratulating them, making videos about this. This is not easy to do. Maybe one day it will be. And maybe not so far away, but right now, this is still complicated.
That might be 2 weeks from now when Grok 7 is released or whatever it is.
Let's bring in our expert who can help us understand, is this the sort of thing that Star Wars fans want to see? And maybe it forces the hand of Disney. Let's bring him in.
I didn't kill Han Solo. Wokeness killed Han Solo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome for the... this is not the first time Lauren's been on That Park Place Live. But Lauren, welcome, sir. How you been?
All right, how are you?
Doing well. Lauren, is this what Star Wars fans want to see? Is this the antidote to what Disney's been doing to force them to see, oh, this is what we've always wanted all along?
Well, I don't think it's that they don't know what we want. I think it's just that they don't want to give it to us. It's interesting that this one's getting all of the attention. I actually saw this one yesterday. I thought about forwarding it on to Marvin, but I didn't because of the way that it ends. When it ends, it just sort of ends. That it doesn't really have an ending. It just stops.
Makes you wonder if it's a drama, right, Lauren? Like, there's gonna be a mini series where they do what do they call these now? Mini dramas, where they release them onto YouTube or these other platforms, and they're 6-7 minutes long, and they end.
I believe they call them telenovelas. sir.
Tell her the memo.
And I will say, it is very good. It's very well done. One thing I did want to caution you about, but it's a little bit too late, is that some of the music that is quoted in here is actually from one of the Disney soundtracks. It's a short snippet, but it was in there, so be careful.
We'll be careful. Where does that come from, Lauren, so we can avoid it?
Shadows of the Empire, and it was actually, you've already played it.
Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, I was texting you. I sent you a text. I put it in the private
Hang
chat.
on. Let me see what the text says. It says, "Dear God, stop playing that music. You're all
you have
going
fallen
down."
right into her trap. Actually, he says,
This is worse.
You weak-minded fool.
This is worse than that time all the channels played the Amandla Stenberg discourse track. All right, folks, let's play a little bit more of it and get your thoughts. And this is what AI is going to do and more in 2026. Are Disney and the other companies ready for it?
Whoa, easy there.
That's a Pokemon. It's close to Star Wars. That's not quite Star Wars.
I can imagine watching this with like surround sound.
So you look over this place.
Sounds good.
Now, what comes up here, I think, is what is going to get most people's attention. It's what got Star Wars Theory's attention. And it may be the thing that Lucasfilm is sensitive about. We'll see.
Is it Darth Plagueis creeping like a creeper?
It's this.
Is this the world between worlds, Lauren?
Yes.
Wow. Oh, I recognize that guy. Even me, I'm not even a Star Wars girly, and I know. Wow.
Who are you?
Let it choose you.
Yeah. So
All right.
that's
Wow.
great, but also, I mean, that's fine for fan fiction. I hate the world between worlds. It opens too many possibilities. It's time travel without consequences. It's
What if we open that door just to close it later on and leave the sequel trilogy right back there with it?
Well, that would be fine. But at this point, I think it's like that moment in Winter Soldier where they say, if I could press a switch that rescued your daughter from being ended in a soccer stadium, and the guy goes, not if it was your switch.
Griffins, you be nice out there. Be nice to Jonas.
It's fine. Griffin, I guess, has a legitimate viewpoint, whatever it may be.
I want the chat to understand. We have moved on from whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So we got to find something new for this man. Lauren, okay, walk us through.
The comment is this is better than anything we've seen from Disney. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Other than the trailers for the first Force Awakens. Yeah, those were good. Enough to sell $2 billion worth of tickets. But this is at some point, this is going to be choose your own adventure, and people are not capable of choosing their own adventure in a satisfying way that other people want to see. There are artists out there who are good at doing this, but no, this is how I would have done it, and often those people are wrong.
See, I think we already exist in a choose your own adventure. That's the marketplace of all the content out there that you can imagine. And Star Wars rose to the top by being the best adventure that you could choose. It's dropped because they decided to hijack it and use it for something else. But Lauren, if let's say there are 10 channels that happen in 2026 that produce content at least at this level and maybe higher using AI for Star Wars, what does that do? What does that do to Disney? What does that do to their theme park interests? What does that do? And what is their response, you believe?
Well, I think this is a large part of the reason why they have inked the deal with OpenAI is because they're trying to set some legal precedent there. And what they really want to do is take the content that the users are providing and own it, because that is part of the the way that their legal agreement works, is that if you're producing AI content with their characters, that they then own it and they can monetize it. And I think that that's sort of a tacit admission that what they're doing isn't working, but they can at least profit off of what other people are doing. I would also push back just a little bit. I don't see the world between worlds as strictly time travel, and it is certainly not a multiversal thing. I saw some people in the comments that were saying that it is a different kind of entity, and I understand why it looks like time travel, but I do not believe that that's precisely what it is.
Now, I also want to say, too, there is the argument that everything that this is doing is using old Star Wars assets. In order for somebody to be really successful, they're going to have to make new stuff. And that's one of my criticisms of this, but it's very light, it's very gentle. You know, the animals that exist don't look Star Wars in this because they're not puppets, because they're not creature workshop stuff. And you're going to have to either make that yourself, render it yourself, or get AI to make it, but you're going to have to be exceedingly creative to make new things that exist within this universe that still look like this, but are novel. You cannot forever, if you're going to be an AI channel, and if Disney's going to not fight that, and I don't know what's going to happen there, but if that's going to be the case, you're going to have to make your case with new stuff that looks very Star Wars-esque, or whatever franchise you're going to exist in. MJ, I don't think the Hollywood studios are going to allow this, though. I'm going to be honest. Now, whether they win in court, different story. I have no idea how that plays out, but I think that they're going to start saying the fan-generated stuff is now too much, and they're going to go after the AI companies, I believe, because you got to be allowed to draw Luke Skywalker for no money, right? Otherwise, every 5-year-old is illegal on whatever franchise they love.
Right.
But these AI companies have the ability to make these very powerful things, and I think the Hollywood studios are going to go after them. Your thoughts, MJ?
I think this looks great. I mean, so this is, let me get this straight, guys. So this is going to be on a streaming platform only. It's not going to make it, obviously, to, I'm trying to understand.
This is just YouTube.
Theaters. Okay,
just
this
YouTube.
is just YouTube. Wow. An incredible AI. I mean, I don't even know what kind of programs they're, I know there's different levels of AI, but this is like great. And it's giving their hardcore Star Wars fans what they really want. That's the whole key. That's the whole purpose. So I think it's great. And unfortunately, if it doesn't go to the theaters, then I mean, I know that Star Wars fans want to see the good films in the movie theaters. So I mean, I don't know how that would even play out. But if they're at war, let's see what happens. Everything's just changed so much after, streaming with COVID and everything, and movie theaters trying to get back to life, and all of that. But I'm all for whatever the real traditional Star Wars fans really want. I'm all for it, even though I'm not a Star Wars girly. I told you guys I've never seen any of the movies, so I'm sorry, but I just think it looks great. I mean, I
think you're better off that way, by the way.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.